Let's get started with creating your ePortfolio. Hopefully at this point you've already been to the South Piedmont website and looked under Student Resources at the ePortfolio information, so you know why you're creating the ePortfolio and what this whole project is about. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We are going to use Wix, so if you'll come up to the top here to your address and type in wix.com. And you may have noticed that I'm using Internet Explorer. You can just as easily use Firefox or Google Chrome. Either one will work absolutely fine for this. The important thing is that you're using Wix. Now you may use something else if you choose. That will work absolutely fine for creating your ePortfolio. The reason that we're recommending that you use Wix is that we will have people here at South Piedmont who can help you with Wix. Okay, so we are on the Wix site. What we need to do is create an account, and we're going to do that by coming over here and clicking on the Sign In button. Now there are a variety of ways to sign in. You can sign in just by creating your account over here. You can do it with Facebook, but what I would recommend is use Sign In with Google so that we can tie this to your student Gmail account. So let's go ahead and click Sign In with Google. Now, if you see your Gmail account here, your student Gmail account, you can go ahead and just select that. I am going to click on Add Account and type in my student Gmail. And it's whatever your email address is at students.spcc.edu, and then your password. And we will sign in. Now you're going to get a screen where it's going to ask you about Wix and whether you're going to allow it to have access to certain things. Just say accept. Wix provides many templates which are going to give us a starting point for the ePortfolio. This is going to allow you to choose a category and then choose a subcategory and go, or you can come down here and click on All Templates and get a list of the different templates that are available. Now it's going to show you a preview of the various templates, and you'll see there are things like kids costumes, city bakery, author, luxury party rentals. So these templates were created for kind of specific types of purposes, but don't worry about that. What we're looking for is kind of a look and feel that you like. Also know that you can edit and make changes to many of the different things within the portfolio once you have it created. So take a while to go through and just look at the different options that you have available to you. And you'll see there are multiple pages, so you can click and go through. You can also look over here to see there are new templates that are available. So you might want to look at those, see what they've added recently, or maybe the most popular templates that have been created. Now, I've been in here and looked at these previously, and I found one that I liked, and it was called Health Spa. So Health Spa, and here it is. And if I want to preview it, I can click on View, and that's going to let me see what it looks like. And you can do this with any of the templates. So this is giving me just a little bit of a view here of how the different pages are going to look. And you know, my ePortfolio is not going to be about health spas, but I just like the appearance of this template. So if I decide I want to use this, I can click on Edit this site. I want you to also notice up here, this is pretty cool. You can create for a mobile view too. So whatever you're doing, you'll have a mobile view that you could look at this on a phone and you can see what it's going to look like there or any other mobile device. So I'm going back to the desktop view. And since I've decided this is the one that I want to use, I'm going to click on Edit this site. And this is now my starting point for my
Hi, I'm
ePortfolio.
Natalie, and welcome to the new Wix HTML editor.
You will find the first time that you go in, you're going to get a Welcome to the HTML editor video that's going to come up. Please go ahead and take the time to watch this, and it will give you a little bit of an introduction to what's going on. I'm going to close out since I've already seen this, and we're going to step through and I'm going to demo some of the things that you can do with Wix. One of the first things that I want to do with this ePortfolio is add my name to it. Now the ePortfolio is made up of all different kinds of objects here, and you can select them just by clicking on them. So where it says the health spa, that's where I'd like to put my name. And you'll see as you click on things, it's going to give you options for what you can do. So over here to the left, I can edit the text or I can add an animation. Or when I've clicked on it over here, I have a little pop-up menu, and that will also let me edit text, add animation, has settings. I want to edit the text. So now I can come in here and just type this is Jane Students ePortfolio. So I'm just putting her name here. And you'll see I have lots of editing options down here. I have a little toolbar that pops up. So you can go in and you can change your fonts, you can change the size, you can change colors and all kinds of things. When you're finished, you can just click outside of the object that you've been editing. And now I can see what it's going to look like. To get started on the structure of your ePortfolio, you're going to need to add pages, and those pages are going to match up with the different pages that were back in the instructions. So I'm going to come over here and add another tab and go to spcc.edu and go to that ePortfolio page under Student Resources and ePortfolio. And if we take a look here, if you go to ePortfolio Components, this is where it's going to show you what all you need to include in your ePortfolio. So we're going to need to have a welcome page, a personal introduction, a goals page. General education is going to have core skills. Program education is something that you may or may not be asked to do. Your educational experiences, additional educational experiences, and your resume. So what we're going to do now is go back over to Wix, and we're going to start adding these pages. So come back over to the Wix editor, and you'll see this has a home page. We're not going to have a home page. We instead want to have a welcome page. So I'm going to click on my Pages tab over here. You'll see we have different buttons that we can use that are going to allow us to do various edits. So we're going to click on Pages, and I want to go to this home page, and I want to call it Welcome instead. This little gear is for settings. So if I click on it, it's going to open up, and you'll see it says Home. I'm going to type in Welcome instead. And then down here, I want to change the page address, and this is what's going to show up here at the top in the address. And I'm going to type this in lowercase letters and make it Welcome. These SEO page settings, these have to do with when your website is searched. So if someone were to go in and Google your name, what would you want to have come up? We're not going to bother with filling these in, but if you want to, you can go back and do that later. So I'm going to click on Done. And now if I click to close this, you can see that now instead of Home, this is now called my Welcome page. And I can do the same thing for these other pages that are already here. If I click on these, I can go ahead and navigate to the different pages, and I can see what the pages look like, kind of what the general layout is. This is a sub-page. Under Spa, here we have Membership, About Us, and Contact. So if these are pages that I like the layout, I can go ahead and just rename them. Or I could go in and I could delete these pages. So for example, if this one that has all the pictures, I don't really have anything that's going to fit well with that. If I just want to get rid of this page, I can go ahead and click on Page Settings, and up here I can just delete that page out of my ePortfolio. And yes, I do want to go ahead and delete it. But if I look at treatments, and this looks like it would maybe work well for, let me see, the next thing I want to do is my personal introduction. Well, maybe personal introduction, that's not going to work well. But what I can do is come back here and I can just add a page, and I can look at the different page layouts that I have available. So for my personal introduction, I think that maybe what I'd like to do is I want to have a picture and I want to have some text. And, looking down at these, I think what I want to do, I like this About To. So I'm going to add a page with this type of layout, and that's going to be my personal introduction. And I'm just going to call it Introduction and click OK. Now you'll see it added it down here at the bottom, but what I can do is this little button that's over here to the left, I can hold down my mouse and drag this up so that now I have introduction just after welcome. The next thing I need to add is goals. Now if I click on treatments, goals has these little boxes, and maybe for my goals I want to use these little boxes, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep this page. I like this layout. So I'm going to click to just edit this and change it that now it's going to be goals. And remember again, I want to change the page address so that that matches. So it says goals. Don't need to change anything else here. I'm going to click done. And I'm going to go through and do the same thing till I have all of these set up. You'll see that I've gone ahead and added the other pages so that all of the different pages that are required in the ePortfolio have now been added. I do want to show you that additional educational experiences, when I added that, there is a limitation on the page address, so I just called that additional experiences instead of additional educational experiences because that was longer than the max that was allowed. At this point, it would probably be nice if we could go ahead and see what this is going to look like. What have we got so far? So if you come up here to the top, you can click on the preview button, and the preview button is going to let you see what you've got. So I have my welcome page, here's my introduction, my goals, and so on. So you can get a kind of a feel for how things are coming together. I'm going to use the button to go back to the editor so that I can continue working on this. To find out what content is to go on each of these pages, again, you should go back to the ePortfolio page, and you will find information here about the different pages and exactly what is to go there. In general, what you're going to do is go in and make modifications to each of these pages so that you are adding the information that's required. You can add things to the page, or you can work with the objects that are already on the page. For example, up here at the top, there's a little graphic that's over to the left of Jane's name. If I click on that, you'll see that I can do a variety of things with it, including I can change the image. If I click Change Image, it's going to bring up a list of all of my images that I have uploaded, and you do have the option of using the upload link and uploading your own images, which is great. There are also free images from Wix. So I can click here and I can look down through and let's see. Let's say that Jane is involved with technology, that's really her passion, and see if we can find something here that looks like it would be good to represent technology. I kind of like this little astronaut USB drive. So I'm going to choose that and then click on Change Image. And you'll see that it's added it right here. Now I can also do things like if I use these little handles on the edge, I can change it, I can move it around, and you'll see that it's really nice. I get these little lines that pop up that are guides, so I can line up with different things. Also, if I go back and click on this, you'll see that one of the options I have that comes up is to edit the image. So when I edit the image, I can crop it, I can change the orientation, I can enhance it. So different things I can do here with colors. I can do frames, brightness, and so on. So just to make you aware, there are a lot of photo editor tools that are built into Wix that you don't necessarily have to worry about having a photo editor. You can do some photo editing in here. Now, if I look over at the left, we have our Pages button, which we've already used. The next button down is our Design button. So if you want to make changes to the background, to the colors or the fonts, this is where you can go to do that. The next button allows you to add things to a page. So this was where I can add text, you can add images, you can add a gallery. A gallery is what we have here where it shows multiple photos or multiple pictures all together. You can add other media, so other media would be things like video or audio. Shapes and lines, buttons and menus, so lots of different options you have for things that you can add. The last button down here before the settings button is your Wix app market. We're really not going to do anything with that, but it's there if you would want to take a look at it. And at the very bottom, this is our settings button. The settings button is important because this is one of the places where you can come to get your site address. So this is what you're going to need whenever you go to turn this in, to be able to give your instructor where your site is to be able to find it. But at this point, we haven't saved this and we haven't done something important called publishing the site. So this is still set just to do a default of my site. So what I want to do is click out of here and come up here, and let's go ahead and save this work because you absolutely do not want to lose all of the work that you've been doing. So we're going to click on Save, and I'm just going to use Jane's name here. And that's probably the most appropriate thing for you to use as the name for your ePortfolio. So I'm just typing in the student's name, click Save Now. And my work has been saved, but note this says when you are ready to share it with the world, publish your site online. Until I hit publish, I can go ahead and I can give that URL, the address for my ePortfolio, to people, and they're not going to be able to see it because I haven't published it, which is taking anything that I've done here and making it available for others to see. So I'm going to click OK, and right next to the Save button, you'll see the Publish button. So I'm going to click on Publish. And now I have some decisions to make. Do I want search engines to be able to find my site? If that's fine with me, I can leave this turned on. Otherwise, I can turn it off. Do I want to be able to have a mobile view of my site? If I do, I can leave this turned on. If not, I can turn it off. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that turned on for mine. You'll see up here again, I have my URL. This is the address for my site. So this is what you would give your instructor. And you'll see that now that I've put in my name, the student name is what ends up here at the end of the address for the site. So now I can click on Publish. And it's going to ask me if I want to upgrade now to get a free domain. The free domain gives you a different address that you can use to be able to get to your website. It's not necessarily because you do have this address that you can use. To upgrade to get that, you do have to pay. So I would just go ahead and click OK. And then you have the option of promoting your site. And I'm going to say not now, thank you, but you're welcome to use this if you like. So at this point, I have the structure of my ePortfolio all put together. I'm ready to move on with just making updates to the various pages. And remember that anytime that I'm ready to give this to someone to look at, I'm always going to want to save. Just do that frequently so that you're always keeping track of what you have. But remember that important step of publishing. You always have to publish. When you publish, it is going to give you that URL. If you need to find that at any other time, remember that you can always click down here on Settings, click on Site Address, and this is the information that you're going to need to give to your instructor. You can drag across this if you like, and then once you do that, right-click on it and copy, and that's going to allow you to just paste into an email so that you can send that information to your instructor. Now, if you happen to get to working on your ePortfolio and you decide that the template that you used is just absolutely not working for you, you can always go back, and I'm just going to exit out of the editor. And yes, I want to leave this page. You cannot change the template once you have created a site. But what you can do is you can create a new site. So I'm just going to click back to my sites. And I can use the button right over here to create a new site, choose a different template, and start all over. Now when I do that, I can go back and forth between the site that I currently have and the new site, and I can copy and paste if there's any content that I've already created that I want to go ahead and use. I can take this site that I already have if I decide that I just want to totally get rid of it. If I go to Manage Site, and then over here where it has handy shortcuts, if I click on Show More, one of the options I have is to delete the site, and I could just go ahead and get rid of it. Now, as you're working on your ePortfolio, remember that you're not alone. You can talk to your instructors in your different classes. They're going to be able to give you ideas for things that you can add to your ePortfolio. You can always go to the academic support centers. There are people there to help you with writing and also just help you develop things that go into your different parts of the ePortfolio. In addition to things like working on goals. How do I develop a goal? There are people there that could help you with that kind of thing. Also watch for workshops. There are workshops that are going to be offered periodically. And when you're working within Wix, there is a support button. So if you need help with Wix, just click on support. And you can go in here and type in whatever your question happens to be, and hopefully you will find answers here. If not, remember again, the Academic Support Center has people available who can help you. If you're interested in visiting one of the academic support centers, you can again go to the South Piedmont website and under Student Resources, look for Academic Support and then Academic Support Centers. And here you'll find information about where the centers are located and the hours that they're open.